So nice to see you all today. Thank you for joining us. My name's Rebecca Thomas, and I am part of the UDL team. I am joined today with Megan, and I will let her go ahead and introduce herself.
I'm Megan Shanley. I'm part of the UDL team too.
So today we just wanted to share with you best practices within PowerPoint. And we have a quick welcome activity for you before we get started. I have so many friends here on the screen that I lost Megan, and she's like my little guidepost. There we go. There you are, Megan. Got you. Okay. So we have a quick welcome activity to do with you today before we get started. And I just want to, before I share the screen with you, I just want you to go through the activity. And if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. And then when the timer goes off, then we can come back together and talk about it as a group, okay? So can you go to the next slide for us,
Yeah,
please?
definitely. Can you hear the timer? Oh, okay. Let me get it.
But it's okay. I don't think it's okay, Megan.
Okay. Oh, time is up.
Awesome. So I see that some people got a chance to drop their names in the chat. Some people were saying, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing your presentation in the Zoom. Should I be? Yes, Jessica, you should definitely be able to see our presentation.
Stop share and put it back up.
Janae said she's helping her out. Can everybody else see the presentation? Can I get a thumbs up if you can at least see it? Okay. Some people said this is so hard to read. Some people got through the whole activity, and that's awesome. But can you go to the next slide for me, please, Megan?
Definitely.
How did you guys feel about that last activity overall? Were there any like standout feelings that you had about it?
I'll
Any
unmute. Yeah, it was definitely hard to see.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Painful. So I said painful.
Yes.
Hard to see the text. Exactly like the photo. Frustrated. Awesome. Yes, I agree. Definitely not very user-friendly, right? The font was crazy. The background image was hard. Took so long to read the text. I had no time for the activity. Thanks for sharing, Cami. The timer, we did get to get the sound on the timer, but I wish we had the timer because that was something that was even worse. It was like the sizzling sound, and like I was like sensory overload for me. Laura said gave me a headache. So definitely those are some challenges that I faced as well. Can you think of some barriers that students or other people may face if that make it extra challenging?
Colorblind. Yes.
Background.
A variety of technological challenges, like trying to see that on a phone.
Oh, good point.
Awesome. Can't read cursive. That's
Oh, yeah.
definitely a challenge now. learning differences that impact one's ability to read and process information, the grittiness of the slides. Awesome, great, all great and valid points. Thank you so much for sharing. So today we want to kind of walk through and show you some things we can do to improve access for all students and all people. So if you can, our goal for today is to show you some best practices through PowerPoint. And one way that I learned about accessibility is through the THRIVES acronym. And today we're going to use that THRIVES acronym to help us with it, accessibility, but we're going to only focus on the 4 highlighted in yellow, which are recordings, inclusive font, visuals, and examine, or I like to call it examining because it just feels like it should be examining. It should flow with the rest of them. So I'm going to say examining today. So we're going to start off with some data to ground us today. And our first one is 1 billion or 15% of the world's population experience some form of disability. 33% of the global population has a hearing or sight impairment. And Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, require that websites and digital content be accessible to users with disabilities. So that's some really good information that we all need to keep in mind as we are building or creating PowerPoints or any form of digital content. So let's get started. We're going to jump into our first letter in our THRIVES acronym, and that's for recordings. And we're going to talk about how we can provide transcripts for video or audio through closed captioning on videos. So we have captions and subtitles, and captions are usually done after recording. And subtitles are usually going on like we have going across our screen right now. They can also be translated. Subtitles can also be translated. And then we also have the SDH, which, hold on, let me make sure I get it correct. Subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. So it's kind of a combination of captions and subtitles. And let me show you, we're going to show you how to turn those on in PowerPoint right now. So this is a super cool tool that you can use with your students, with your teams, with your whoever you work with. I was thinking how I would use it in my classroom, and I would probably use it for like open house or parent nights, because I had worked with a big community that spoke Spanish, and I am not a fluent Spanish speaker yet. So this would be super helpful for me. So Megan's going to help us walk us through that.
Awesome. So you guys can see that I'm on PowerPoint Online, and just so everybody knows, PowerPoint Online is available for any teacher or student or educational organization. So this is something that if your school has the software version, they also have the online version. So just so you know, this is available for them. And I also love this. As we are here in PowerPoint, and I'm sorry my bar is so small in projection, we see a tab here, and it says slideshow. And then under slideshow, they have something called Present Live. Now, I'm going to go in here, and if you're at a school, you're never going to have to change this because all your kids are already probably going to be signed into your organization. But just put it on anyone, and we have a video for this after that we'll send out to everybody who is in attendance, so you don't have to take frantic notes. You'll still have that instructions. But anyone, and then under the subtitle settings, we can do lots of different things. We can do, if I was speaking a different language, like I was speaking Spanish, I could turn it on to Spanish and then have it subtitle in English, or vice versa. We're going to have English and we're going to subtitle in one of the many languages. We'll go for Spanish. And we'll go right back into the live presentation. Now, when you're looking, let's see if it's actually translating correctly. How are we doing, Rebecca?
It looks wonderful. I mean, to me, I'm not sure if the Spanish is 100% correct, but it looks great from my perspective.
And what's really cool is that the live presentation allows you to join and have multiple languages. So go ahead and take your phone out and take a picture of this QR code. And what you will find when you take your picture is there'll be something that pops up on your screen with your camera. Oh, look, I see people joining. And it will go straight into the PowerPoint itself and give you captions. At the bottom of your captions on your phone, on the bottom left, there's a language and it says English. You can change it to any language you want. So you could have languages, students with many different languages in your class getting running captions at the same time. There is also on the right side, a smiley face, and that smiley face allows you to respond to what's going on the screen. So if you'll see how I'm saying reactions, yay, look at that. We've got tons of reactions. So as I go back to my slides, you guys will see that you can respond to our slides as well. And I'm going to go back and put the English subtitles on if that's okay with everyone. Thumbs up, okay? Awesome. Oh, look, and I got
You got
my
fireworks.
my fireworks. Just a second, let me go back and change my subtitle settings again to English, and I make sure I'm speaking English and I'm subtitling English, and then I can go right back in again.
Awesome. Does anybody want to share how they would use this?
It's a good way for engagement. So if you have the students or parents or whatever your audience is, you can have them use those emojis as a way to engage them in the presentation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's almost like those clickers, right? That they used to have in the classrooms. Yeah, give immediate feedback to the teacher.
And just those language barriers, like we encounter so many different languages. And I think this would just is such a awesome tool to help overcome that barrier, like, and it's no hassle. It's something that like is so inconspicuous too, like on your own phone, and super easy and user friendly too. So thank you for sharing, everyone.
Can I add one more? This is also a great way to bring those families and make them feel a part of your classroom. So if you're using it on the phone, they can put it in their language that works for them, and they're still feeling like they're not missing pertinent information. The other cool thing is every single kiddo in your class could be, because we have kids with multiple languages, they could be listening in their own and reading in their own language as well. So it makes it really nice.
Yeah, fostering that home language instead of like a lot of those kiddos lose their home language sometimes. So that's a good way to keep that growing too. Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. Okay, Megan. All right, we're moving on to our letter I, which is inclusive fonts. And this is something that is so easy to kind of bypass, but it's a very important one to remember. This is one thing that is easy to remember is the use of sans serif fonts. So that's a very accessible list of fonts. And let me drop the list here for you in the chat. This is just from Wikipedia, but this is a whole list of sans serif fonts. There's anything in this list is considered accessible. However, some may be more accessible than others. It's where that's where you need to use your best judgment. If you look at one of the fonts and you're like, that's like not very like easy on the eyes, then maybe pick a different one. So yes, these are the most accessible, but again, just use your best judgment when you're picking them. If they have a background or a drop shadow in them, sometimes that's a dead giveaway too, that they might not be the most accessible. Or if you could remove that drop shadow, that's an easy way to fix it. That may not always be an option though. Something also to remember with inclusive fonts is to pick those readable typefaces, limit the number of fonts you use in a page. So you don't want like multiple fonts within one document. And that is definitely something that I was guilty of before. I like to make it like just full and just like throw as many things in there as possible. But now you learn and you try and do better as you grow. Work on your contrast. So if, for example, this yellow, if I were to use this yellow background, it wouldn't be good for me to use a white font because it would be hard to read again, just like in our welcome activity. And then consider spacing. So make sure your spacing is large enough where it's easy to read, but not too large where it takes a while for the reader to scan the page, or too tight where the words are all, or words or letters are all jumbled up. And then again, don't use fonts with ambiguity, small font sizes, crowded text, or busy backgrounds. Any questions? All right. I want to show you an example on the next slide here. This is just some concert flyers I found, and these are kind of just some examples of how the font choice can really make a impact on your designs and on your oh geez, what's the word? On your
Readability.
information. Yes, information.
There we go. I was like, I don't know.
Thank you. So you can see that down here at the bottom on the left-hand side, it's very jumbled and it's very hard to see. The colors are red and yellow are hard to see for me personally. There's lots of different fonts and we have lots of different shadows going on here. On the right-hand side, they seem to be a little more legible for me, but the spacing is harder to read. So these are some examples that we just wanted to show you of some maybe ways that you could adjust it to make it better. But we also wanted to show, Megan has some tools, some cool tools that she wanted to show you for what it looks like with students who have disabilities.
Awesome. So all the links for these things are on the help documents. And I realized that the Thrives ad, Rebecca, the Thrives image, I will also put where we pulled that from on that document. I forgot to do that. My apologies. So this is called the Stark Accessibility Checker. It's just an extension, and it's a really handy way of utilizing, letting yourself see what the fonts look like in a different way. So I've installed Stark up here, and what you'll see is that we can do the vision simulator. And here you can see what this looks like when it's blurred. Can you guys see how difficult that is to read? Or ghosting is something that a lot of people have, a little bit of a double vision. That is a common diagnosis. And so just like Rebecca was just talking about, this is a great way to kind of look and see, is my material readable? If it's slightly blurry, is it still okay to be read? Would you like me to go to the next slide?
Yes, thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Awesome. There we
That's
go.
such a cool extension too. It was something that I was really interested in because um it's always interesting to see what other people how other people see things. So like that was very cool for me. Thank you for sharing that with us, Megan.
Oh, not at all. Yeah, and let's see. Oh, it's looking better. I blurred it
Yes.
up.
So
We can
throughout our activity today, we're going to keep referring back to our welcome activity and try to make improvements to it as we go, as we learn about our accessibility tools. So we went back and we changed our font into a sans serif font, and it's a little better. It's still got a lot going on there, but it is a little easier to read. So hopefully by the end of our cafe today, we'll have a clear and accessible welcome activity for you guys to leave with. Awesome. Now we're moving on to visuals, which is for to remind us to add alt text for all visuals and images. So alt text is just a way for us to describe images to people who may be blind or visually impaired. It is a written description of what is being displayed. So this can be for anything. So images, logos. For example, on this screen right here, the V on the left-hand side, that image of the V, the dad and the baby, and then our NMUDL logo at the bottom, all would need alt text because they're all three are images of some sort. So there's some things you need to keep in mind when you think about alt text. There can be good alt text and there can be bad alt text. And I think as you learn, you kind of go through a wave of all, like a roller coaster of it all. At the beginning, if I were to alt text this when I was learning about it, I think I would have just put like dad and baby. But if a person was to, like when I picture a dad and baby, this is not what I see in my head, you know? I do not see a dad and baby sitting next to a charcoal grill with a huge flame roasting marshmallows like this. So you have to make sure you try and explain what's on the screen for a person who may not be able to see what is going on. Or for example, if the image is of a pie chart, you can't just say pie chart. You have to be able to describe what the pie chart is showing, the data that the pie chart is showing, so that that person can get the most out of the presentation. So what is the goal of that picture on the page? For this picture here, the goal is literally just to kind of catch your attention. So my alt text here, can you right click on it for us, Megan?
Yes, definitely.
So to get the alt text, if you right click on the image and scroll down, it will say alt text and you can click on it.
Sorry, I'll close my Stark. There we go.
Thank you. And then you can see it has a little box, and that's where you would type in your description. And I think I wrote something super just basic to explain the picture.
You want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Dad lighting charcoal grill with lighter fluid while baby sits in high chair and roasts a marshmallow for s'mores over the fire from the grill.
So that alt text may look very different than an alt text you would use for the same picture for a parenting class, right? Because the goal is different. So this goal is the goal for this presentation is just to show you what alt text is and to hook your attention. Whereas if this picture was being used in a parenting class, it may look different. Megan, can you help us out? What would a parenting class maybe look like?
Father, who is very unsafe, pouring lighter on fire with baby close to flames. That may be a one. Or let's see, what other reason would we have that picture? Grilling class. Yeah, so if it was part of a grilling class, you would say too much accelerant is dangerous, especially with babies near fire.
Yeah.
Also, you could add in the do not or too much accelerant with face close to flames.
Yes. Bearded face.
Yeah, father's face close to flames, being dangerous with grilling equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just always want to look to the goal of the picture. Why is that picture there? It doesn't have to be just a description of the picture. It can help reinforce the concept.
And then something also that is very important to remember is you don't have to include like image of or photo of dad and baby. So the screen readers, when they're reading the alt text for someone, it already includes that it's an image. So you don't want them to have to, you don't want the person to have to hear that it's an image multiple times. So just include the description.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Any questions on alt text?
Let's see, let me go back into.
Okay, are you up for a challenge? Okay, we're gonna give you a task now. It's your turn. Can somebody give me a bad example of alt text for this photo? I'll give you some think time, so don't shout out yet, just think first. Something that is not helpful for someone who may be blind or visually impaired. I'll give you like 5 more seconds. All right. Would anyone like to be brave and share? Oh, yay. Thank you. Somebody dropped some in the chat. Anybody want to unmute?
I love that a man is cooking a baby.
Father drinking coffee with a baby nearby.
How to boil your baby.
I love that.
Another one.
Making chili with your baby.
Oh, that's perfect. Awesome. Okay, now let's try a better alt text. Let's see if we can think of a better description for this picture that gives a little more information for our audience. And I'll give you some think time again. Okay, 5 more seconds. All right, would anyone like to share?
It's a hard one, isn't it? You can make up any scenario you want.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Father drinking coffee in kitchen while reading a cookbook. Baby in red pot on the stove with steam coming out of it. Nice. Much more informative. All right.
Would it also be helpful to possibly, I guess, convey the intent of the picture, like just to start it off with like a humorous picture of a father reading a cookbook and the baby in the pot or whatever?
Definitely. Yeah. Somebody just put in something. Could you read it?
Me? Yes.
Yeah, I think it did exactly what she just said.
A surreal scene with the father in a kitchen next to a stove with a baby in a pot holding a spoon, while the father reads a cookbook titled The Great American Chili Book.
Nice. That is a really good caption. Nice
Yes.
job.
Way to go, Jessica. Thank you for sharing. And thank you, Laura, too. That was awesome. So now we're going back to our welcome activity again, and we have lots of images on this page here. Many of them are have to do with the activity. However, the activity really is like not a good activity, right? It's like, especially for somebody who may be visually impaired, like this is a terrible activity for them. But so the hearts are labeled with alt text by color. So one may say blue heart, one may say light blue heart, black heart. The squiggles are marked as decorative. So anything that is purely decorative and has nothing to do with your actual content, you can mark as decorative. And it will not be read by the screen reader. So any clip art that is just there for fun, any, what else do we mark as decorative? Like text boxes that sometimes you need to put there to like sometimes you have to put a text box to like highlight the font, like to replace the background so the font pops, you may have to do that, and then you can mark that text box as decorative. So any kind of image or something like that you have that does not portray information, you can mark as decorative. So just like that squiggle or that arrow are both marked as decorative. Everything else has a label, but that doesn't mean that that's a great activity happening there. And then our timer does have alt text as well. I think it just says popcorn timer, 1 minute timer.
Can I yes and? If you have a logo on your presentation, so if we use like our New Mexico UDL logo, you want to identify it first, like in your first part of your presentation. And then if you're using it throughout the rest of your presentation, you can then mark it as decorative. Correct, Megan?
Yes, I mean, that's a judgment call depending on the meaning, but like,
Yes.
yeah, if you have something that's repetitive and not meaningful on that page, then listening to it 50 times is not a lot of fun.
Thank you. That's a great reminder. Thank you for sharing, Janae. Would you like me to go to the next one? Oh, yes. Sorry. Did we want to share? No, I forgot. Are we sharing do you want to share what the screen reader sounds like here?
Oh, yes, sure. Definitely.
Because I think that's pretty powerful. And the first time I heard a screen reader, I was like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. And also like so powerful to hear, because if there is so much like stuff on the page that doesn't need to be there, that could be very distracting. So if you've never heard a screen reader before, here you go.
Accessibility shortcut checked. Voiceover on Universe Preview. PowerPoint accessibility for educators handout.pdf document group. You are currently on a group. To interact with in document group. Page 4. Tamara Lopez has entered the waiting room. Press the MD plus tilde to
Sorry, guys.
audio submenu. To stop video button group.
Just say, let me recenter it.
PowerPoint accessibility for educators handout.pdf. Page 4 of in page 4 containing black heart image, gray heart image, welcome activity, content list 1 item. 1. Type your name in the chat with your favorite emoji. End of content list. Light blue heart image, yellow heart red heart image, yellow heart image, red heart image. 2. Be ready to share something you are gray heart image, blue heart image, black heart image, light blue heart image, red heart image. BOOM.
Are you crazy yet?
Popcorn. 1 minute time. 3. Count all the black hearts and multiply that number by 2. Hold the answer up on your fingers. You are currently on a text universal access control. Voiceover off.
Thank you.
So you just saw an example of 2 things. Like she said, the hearts, she had gone in and labeled every single heart. So does anybody have any feedback about how that sounds? Yeah, I saw an eye roll. Yes, it is an eye roll. It's very frustrating. It's overwhelming. It's a lot of text. So we want to make sure that people who are blind or visually impaired are able to actually listen to the content, not just, yellow heart, green heart, red, unless it's meaningful to that person. It also described something different. Did you guys see what happened when we went from hearts to text? Yes, the reading order. Yikes. Extra points. Yes, the reading order, which we're about to talk about later, is very important. And if you don't say that things are in the right order, then you'll just see exactly what we just saw. Heart, text, title, logo, it's all over the place. Yeah. Did you want me to add anything else, Rebecca?
Nope, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
Great. Let me go back into the slideshow. There we go.
Awesome. Thank you. Now we're moving on to examining, and this is where we're going to be looking at using our built-in accessibility checkers through PowerPoint. And also we have a color contrast analyzer. Whoa, that was a hard word to get out. Analyzer that we're going to be showing you as well. That kind of helps with our color ratios that we'll be showing you as well. So you can see in this picture here that how do you say it? WCAG?
Oh, WCAG or WCAG. Yeah.
So it's the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines suggest that a ratio of 4.5 to 1 is a good contrast ratio for a minimum of all contrast. So in this picture here, you can see on the left-hand side, it does not pass. Although it looks fairly readable to my eye, maybe someone who has is colorblind or has other visual impairments may not be able to see that very well. So they suggest that 4.5 to 1, which is on the right-hand side, that darker red and the brighter, the white, the darker red and the white, that does pass their contrast ratio. So both of them look fairly readable to my eye again, but that's why it's super important for you to use that color contrast tool. In our handout that I shared with you, the Word document, we have a link to the download for you that you can use. I can also drop it here in the chat. And it looks like what Megan just pulled up on the screen. It's super easy to use. Once you download it, you can save it onto your desktop and you can pull it up, and you have to pick droppers for the foreground and the background color. So that first dropper she's going to select is that foreground color. So you're going to select the closest color, yes, and she's going to find the middle part, select it, and it's going to highlight it up at the top. Then she's going to pick up the dropper again and go for the background color. And then it will show you if it passes or fails. This color contrast analyzer, Megan, it has a 5 to 1 ratio, right? Contrast ratio.
Yeah, and that's just to make sure that the teeny tiny font, if you're using it, you'll see that this category right here with regular text is not as clear. So it's almost there. It's so close, but not quite.
So it does not pass here. So the WCAG recommends 4.5 to 1, but our color contraster that we use has a little higher contrast ratio, which is even better. So we stick to this, and it's good for all, and it fits in between, so you can use whatever you like, but we really like this color contrast analyzer, and it's easy to use, super user friendly, and gives you your ratios right away. If we were to do it on the right-hand side, you can see she pulled that foreground color, background color, and it passes with flying colors. So just an adjustment of that shade of red just to a little darker makes a huge difference and increases that readability a lot, especially for people who may have visual impairments. Any questions on that? Now we want to show you something really powerful also that kind of goes hand in hand with color contrast. And this is a video from Liverpool, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And it's a color blind simulator. So Megan has a little more background on it. Would you like to share?
Oh, sure. And we'll drop the an article and the website. I think we've already put the website that it came from in the UK. It's Colorblind Awareness Society in the UK. But they wanted to show how powerful it is when you are colorblind, and 8% of the population of males in this world are colorblind. So inevitably you're going to have somebody in a classroom, at least, within 30 people. So what they did is on the left-hand side, they're doing their handshakes, and you can see that we're green and red, but this is what it looks like on the right for someone who's colorblind.
Players get acquainted with each other ahead of what should be a fascinating 90 minutes. Both managers have admitted it's only the result that counts. Will we get entertainment to go with a particular?
So what problems do you guys think might occur in a situation like that? Feel free to unmute or pull it in the chat.
There's no real differentiation of the team for them, right? As they're passing each other.
Right. It's crazy because we're having teams that the refs can't be colorblind. That is so true. And there is a wonderful video on the UK site, the Colorblind Awareness, where they actually have a video from the perspective of a kid to show teachers, if anyone is out there with teachers and educating. And it is a really powerful thing to think about, that most of the time that we have kit for sportswear, we do green and red or some other colors that are very difficult to see. Did you want me to add anything else?
No, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
So now as we move back into our welcome activity, when we change those colors and take away that background, that crosshatch background, it really makes that activity much more user-friendly, much more readable. There's still so much going on. There's still a lot of stuff on the screen, but at least we can focus in on the content that's being shared, and it's a little more easy to access.
I forgot to add, if you don't mind, just saying that you can also check this with the extension that we showed earlier. And so if I go back to the original picture here and we go into the vision simulator, it also has the 4 most common types of color blindness, because color blindness or color differences come in many different shades. So here is the most common. You can see how difficult that is. And then I'll just go through several of the others. So this is a nice way to kind of check and see if your background is difficult, if there are pictures that wouldn't be understood. Thank you for letting me interrupt. Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm so glad. And I told Megan, I think I have a huge family, but 3 of my brothers are colorblind. And when I was a kid, I would always ask my one brother in particular, like, what does it look like? Like, what do you see? And he'd be like, oh, quit asking me. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Cause I'm sure it was hard for him to explain like what he saw, because it's always what he saw, So, and he'd be like annoyed that I always would ask him. And then, the other day when she showed me that, I was like, oh, I finally get to see what he sees. I'm so excited. Like, now I know.
So
That was
cool.
Thank you for sharing that, Megan.
Not at all.
All right, so we're wrapping up and we're finishing up our last piece of the examine component within our Thrives acronym. And we're going to be talking about our accessibility checker. PowerPoint is awesome and ahead of the game and has one built into PowerPoint. And this is really cool and makes life very easy. So I want to show you how to access it. I left some things or uncorrected, I guess, is that no, I'm one that not sure if that made sense, but I left incorrect everything here in our PowerPoint so I could kind of walk you through it and show you how to do it together as a group. So when you're in PowerPoint and you click on the review tab at the top, and then you go to check accessibility, you have a whole new pane that comes up on the right-hand side. And there's like 4 different choices at the top are like emojis, I guess is, I don't know what those graphics, what those would be considered, but you have to click on those to get through each. And the first one is your alt text. So go ahead and click on that one. We have our baby here. Can someone share an alt text for us to add to our baby? You can unmute. This is a safe space. Don't be shy.
The baby just got told no in the store and mom had to take him outside.
So baby in store told no and is crying.
Awesome. Thank you for taking a risk.
There
And
we go.
Valerie King wrote in the chat, frustrated toddler crying loudly. So
Nice.
for this activity, yes, you could definitely choose which would suit your goal best for the activity you're using it for. As you go through, she's clicking down throughout the list and she's checking it. We highlighted the next one and you can see the alt text pops up and it's an arrow, so we can mark that as decorative. That has nothing to do with anything. Or it's giving no information on the screen.
And so, and as I do recheck, you'll see they disappear from the list. All right. Would you like me to go to the next category?
Yes, yes, please.
Awesome.
The next one is missing audio, video, and subtitles. These don't go away. It is, again, like we said stated at the beginning, it's encouraged for you to include captions and subtitles to everything. But when you upload videos, it's again encouraged to includes videos, captioning, and subtitles. And you may have to do that through YouTube, which is a whole different process that we can maybe address later on in a different cafe or a different training. And if you have questions, we'd be happy to show you how to do that. It's super easy and it doesn't take a lot of time, but we're only focusing on PowerPoint today, so we didn't want to kind of like veer off in too many directions. But if you have any questions on how to upload captions within PowerPoint, send us an email and would be happy to show you how to do that. And this here in PowerPoint is just reminding you to do so. So like, hey, you have a video on slide.
Let's see, 14. Let's
14.
see, no, that was,
Or
where's the one with that? There we go. There we go.
Slide, have a
16.
video on slide. I can't see the number, but
16.
make sure
Yeah.
make sure it has captions. So go back and through YouTube and add the captions in. And it's, again, like we said, it's super easy to do and we can show you how to do that at a later time. And then last we have the reading order, and this is where it can get a little tricky. So Megan and I had a lot of fun with this today. We had all of our ducks in a row, or so we thought. And I tried to make things simple, I thought, by using a template, and I only picked certain things from a template I found online. And I was like, oh, well, this will be easy because I'm only going to be inserting like a few text boxes, so it's no big deal. That was my mistake. And I knew better because I've done this before. And I just want to, before we go into arranging, I just want to tell you, like, keep it simple, because when you go into arranging, it can get a little tricky, and there's hidden text boxes in those online templates. And then when you're like in a pinch and you think you're done and you're just having to arrange things, there's always something that, you know, like you can't.
Out of order.
Yeah. Yes. And there's always something that happens with tech, right? So keep it simple. We really suggest using these. Sorry, let me find the link here. Accessible templates from Office, and I'm dropping them in the chat right now. These have are great resources for you to use. Oops, that's not what I want here. And these are not just something like the one I pulled was from Canva, and it was cute, yes, but it was like kind of a pain. So I suggest following from PowerPoint. PowerPoint makes it easy. Just do it and save yourself the trouble. Trust me. So let me show you the reading order now. When you go into check reading order, it will make you go through slide by slide, and you have to do it no matter what. Like every time you go into PowerPoint, you're going to have to check each individual slide's reading order. So for example, when Megan showed us the reading order, the screen reader of that welcome activity, and it was jumping from text to hearts to this to that, that was so confusing for the listener. So you want to make sure that you provide them the information the way that you would read it, like read it as a visual or as a sighted person, right, Megan? Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Top to bottom or left to right, depending on how you're sequencing things on your slide.
So on the online version of PowerPoint, which is what we're running from now, you can see a selection pane comes up. This is everything that's on this slide, which is super overwhelming. You can see there's a ton of text boxes. There's a ton of information. Each one of those little, what does it say? Oh, heart, I guess, images is on that right-hand panel, selection panel. So there you can drag and drop those, I don't even know the word now, those tiles from bottom to top in the order you want them read. So the thing you want read first goes at the bottom, and then you stack them on top in reading order. So whatever you want read first goes at the bottom, and then you move everything else on top of it, which I don't know why, but that like confuses me so much. So
yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
and for me, it should go the other way. But if that makes sense to you, I wish it did for me. Sometimes I'm like, why does it not go from top to bottom, but bottom to top? So, and then you just drag and drop.
Yep. So that's the second thing so that's the third thing I read, the title of the slide. And then the first chunk of text, here's the second chunk of text. I'm bringing it down to the bottom. So it's one of the last ones. So now I have my title. I have the first bunch of text. I have the second bunch of text. We need the third. So here's our text box. Let's bring it down. There we go. Now, this is, like she said, so much easier if you don't have all the gobbledygook around. All of these extra pieces are seen as like separate pieces by them. Luckily, we can go into all of these and make sure that they are marked as decorative or something more meaningful than just heart.
Mhm. Or you could take away after, now that you know better, or you like know different, you can change the activity and just take that activity out. And be like,
Yes, right? Because
throw it in the trash, you know?
it's not a good one anyway.
So,
Megan, can you show the version? I know you have the selected pane, but can you show it so that they can see it in like the layered look? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so the layered look is only in PowerPoint, the
desktop.
Oh,
desktop
okay, never
version.
mind. Oh,
Yeah, but you can do it in there as well, and then it becomes more spatial. I do like that a lot, and that's a good way to do it. You can drag the pieces in the right order from there as well. So if anybody's interested in knowing about some of the differences between the desktop and the online version, we'd be glad to show you. If you contact us, we'll get on a Zoom and show you the differences.
yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to hijack, but I just know for
Oh,
some
no.
people being able to see that layered, because that layered look shows how many layers you've essentially built up on your presentation, and that's what many times messes up the readability as well.
Yes. And that's
Yeah.
when those templates that you can find online really mess you up too, because it's like all those hidden text boxes. And then when you start to change the reading order, it changes the layer order. And then your text box gets hidden way in the back and it's a hot mess. And just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Let me show you what oh, here's a simple slide. Yeah, so let's just go in there and see the order from there. There we go. So look how simple that is. Only a few components, very easy. As opposed to the slide from the hearts, which I'm just going back to arrange. And you can see how many layers there are. Insane. Awesome. Would you like me to show anything else, my dear?
I think that's it. And then if you could just, yeah, I think that's it for arranging. Just remember that bottom to top. And then if you're in the desktop version, the numbers mean nothing. Go from left to right, left to right. Don't ignore the numbers on the bottom, but just remember bottom to top.
There we go.
So then, yeah, and then we could go to the next. So this is our welcome activity, and we kind of improved upon it. We took out the heart activity because that had nothing to do with anything. It wasn't a good activity to begin with. We inserted a background for the slide to make it a little more appealing to the eye, but we put a text box with a solid background so that the text doesn't like you can read the text doesn't compete with that background. We also enlarged the text, we widened the spacing and picked a different sans serif font and just cleared off the junk. There's still some decorative stuff on there, but very minimal and a lot more clean and readable. So you can see how it's improved throughout the day. Thank you. So let's revisit our goal. Does anyone have anything that they're excited to try? Anything that they're want to take back and use or do within their classroom, their trainings coming up in PowerPoint?
I do. I can see a lot of ways that this could be applicable to the work that I'm doing. I do wonder though, I am following along. I'm trying to sort of see some of the things that you are seeing, and I'm not seeing all the same buttons that you seem to have. I was able to add a couple, but I don't have all the things you have. So how do I get them? For example, when I push arrange, I don't have the choice to see that view either in the desktop or through the web version. So I'm just wondering, you know, how do we, if we don't see that, can we email you or call you and say help?
Oh, yes.
It might be because are you running from a Dell or a
I
different?
yeah, just I mean, you know, it's the CREC equipment. Yes, I have. That's what I
Yes.
have.
So we may have to just troubleshoot it, but it's definitely something we can work on together. It may look a little different, but you still have the buttons and it will just look a little different. We got you. So yes, feel free to reach out and email and we can help walk you through it.
Can I yes Andrew Fuzz?
Yes.
Yeah, know that the each version of the PowerPoint, the app, the online version and the application that's downloaded on your computer are all a little different. And I don't know why they do that. I've actually asked people who are working at Microsoft, but like she said, they're all there. It's just a matter of getting to it. So. Oh, nice. I want to use the subtitles during my trainings. Yes, please. It's so valuable. Yeah, and being colorblind, it does. It affects everything.
Thank you for sharing, both of you. That was awesome. I appreciate you guys
The
taking.
kiddos, I did this with a training when I was training Snap and Read with a group of fifth graders, and they were really impressed with the subtitles in the presentation, and they get to practice reading. So it's like this double win.
Yay.
Yay, Laura. Thank you.
And then if you have anything else to share, feel free to keep dropping in the chat. I just wanted to leave you with one last quote. This is from Steve Ballmer, the former CEO of Microsoft. And he said, accessible design is good design. It benefits people who don't have disabilities as well as people who do. Accessibility is all about removing barriers and providing the benefits of technology for everyone. So like our coworker Jen says, what's necessary for some is good for all. So just keep doing what you're doing. And if you guys have any questions, please reach out to us, follow us on all of our platforms, and we hope to work with you guys and support you in any way we can. So thank you so much for joining us today. It was wonderful to see you all, and thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, look, somebody responded. I saw a little smiley face come
Yay!
up. Yay! Wonderful. Have a lovely week, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody,
you
for
guys
joining.
so much. Thank you.
Kelly, thanks for coming if you're still here from CAST.
And thanks for the feedback too and participating. That was awesome.
Yeah, I saw her come through. I was like, yay.
Loved having everybody. So those that are hanging still, we will post the recording once we're done. So love it. Yay, good feedback in the chat too. So good job, ladies.
She's amazing. That's why.
Oh,
Well
thank you so much for
done.
your help again. That was awesome.
It was great. You did a great job.
I added a few things to your handout kind of as you were going. So if I missed anything.
Oh, thank you. I so appreciate it.
The only thing, oh, sorry,
Oh,
Nora, yeah, on the bottom right corner, there should be a little button to just put, oh yeah, no, nothing, you don't have to sign anything to leave as long as you signed in, that when you came, that's your attendance tracker. And then Nora, if you needed something, Selena just dropped it back in there. If you need something, sent to principal or anybody, email me. I can drop my email in there and I can send something if you need proof that you've attended today, because I think I chatted with you